Really good folks. They're working very hard for you, trying to make North Carolina a better place. Here in North Carolina, I would say we had probably the most conservative, not probably, definitely, the most conservative legislative session we've ever had in the history of North Carolina. If you remember, in 2010, we took over the House and the Senate for the first time in 140 years. And then in 2012, we got the governor's mansion to go along with that. Only the third Republican governor in the history of North Carolina, really, since the 1880s. I'm only the second Republican lieutenant governor since the 1890s in North Carolina. So we haven't had a lot of time. And so really, if you think about it in that context, if you look back over the legislative session, you should really be amazed at all the work that went on in a very short period of time in Raleigh. Things from right out of the chute saying no to Obamacare state exchanges in our state. That was a huge thing because if you're looking and you're watching the news, which I'm sure you're all doing right now, related to the government shutdown, which is still related to Obamacare, and you're hearing the stories come out of people who are seeing their premiums double and triple, and it never made good economic sense. It never made any good financial, right, Danny Fontana?
That's right.
It never made good economic sense.
In fact, it stinks.
It stinks. It stunk years ago when we started talking about it, and it stinks even more today now that we're going to have to be doing this. So North Carolina said no to the state exchange because not only did it did not make sense for the state of North Carolina to take on the state exchange, it didn't make sense for the individuals and the people in North Carolina to do that. We said no to Medicaid expansion in North Carolina, again, because financially it didn't make good sense. You can't continue to take on debt burdens in your state and expect that you're never going to have to pay for it one day. We had to get unemployment right-sized in North Carolina to be similar to what's going on in states around us. It's good to have a hand up for people. When it becomes a handout, that's problematic. It's good to have a safety net for people. In America, that's one of the great things about America, but when that safety net becomes a hammock, that's problematic. And so people have been hanging out on unemployment for too long. And so while there are people hurting, we had to right-size unemployment in our state. Those are big things. Right up the alley of, I know Senator Santorum, being a strong pro-life advocate as I am, a good abortion bill that came through North Carolina, strengthening our abortion laws in North Carolina, making sure that abortion clinics have to live up to the same requirements that ambulatory care facilities have to live up to, making sure that doctors are present when those procedures take place in North Carolina, making sure that people can't have sex selections for abortions in North Carolina. These are all things that North Carolinians agree with, and this is some of the legislations that happened.